Good. Well, let's get going tonight. It's 6:30, and welcome everybody to our umpteenth fireside chat. We haven't got as many fireside chats as we do trail smokes published, but we're working on that right now. We've got a good group tonight. We've got Donita, Scott's here, Rush, Rob's on the back end. Rush is with us. You must be on the road there, Rush, heading out somewhere. Got McKay and Sandy. Eugene's here. So we got a pretty good quorum. Donita's going to talk with us tonight a little bit about pack operations and a little bit about membership and recruiting ideas. Before we get into that, perhaps, Scott, you wanted to give us an update on where we are from a council Boy Scout standpoint?
Always happy to do that.
Thank you so
Randy.
much, Scott.
Just a few things. Did want to mention that the day camp committee has been doing a great job of getting together and kind of organizing, getting what's going to go in the box and organizing the program itself. A virtual day camp scheduled for early in August, and online registration is up and running now. So you just have to go to the website to go on and register for that. We had earlier this week at an auction committee meeting and making a lot of strides for the September 18th auction. And Donita, you need to listen to this. We're encouraging groups to have watch parties because it will be virtual as well. I just talked to some people down in Coos Bay, some scouters down in Coos Bay, and said, you know, we've got things that we can do. We're trying to get scouts out to those watch parties and maybe do some Dutch oven appetizers for those watch parties, and then maybe drop off some beverages so that you can enjoy the evening as well. Lots of opportunities. I think it's going to be great. We've got it'll be about an hour, but the silent auction will go live, I think, a week prior to the actual event. So a lot of great things coming up with the auction. That's, again, September 18th. Golf tournament, for anybody that's interested in our golf tournament, will be at Eugene Country Club, and it's scheduled for October 5th. Earlier this week, also had a National Jamboree Committee meeting and actually had a parents meeting. And we had quite a few people on Zoom. We had a couple people in the office for the meeting. We still have spaces available. As of right now, our plan is to take a troop, which will consist of 2 male patrols and two female patrols. We've got a couple of spaces still available for male youth, and we are filling those up quickly, but we're willing to put people on a waiting list as well. And we've got 3 or 4 signed up for the female patrols, so we've still got some spaces available for females that are interested, female youth that are interested in going as well. We're also trying to fill 2 third assistant scoutmasters, 1 male, 1 female, that are in that 18 to 21 year category to work with the units. And we're looking for a second assistant scoutmaster, which is adult and can be either male or female. So National Jamboree, still got spots available. We've reduced the price from $3,950 down to $3,025. So we've cut down on the tour a little bit, but we wanted to make sure, with everything that's happening in our world at this point, that we made it affordable for, more affordable for families that might have fallen on hard times as we've gone through this COVID-19. Scout Store, just want to mention that the Scout Store, we've changed and we've gone back to, some of you that have been here for a while know that at one point on Saturdays it was open 10 to 2. We extended those hours to 9 to 3. For the time being, at least for right now, we're moving back to the 10 to 2 time frame in the Scout Store on Saturdays. So just, wanted to make everybody aware of that and make sure that you understood 10 to 2 now. And the last thing I want to mention, we had a board meeting yesterday, and a couple of things came out of that, and Sherry and McKay are on the call, or on the Zoom meeting. But one of the things is we are re-looking at redistricting, primarily in the Yaquina and Benton districts, and we're trying to make sure that that we've got a consensus in the district that a merger of those two districts. We want a consensus that merging into one district is what everybody wants. I said it to the group yesterday. The last thing I want to do is have people feel like that the council is forcing something on them. It needs to, if it's going to happen, it needs to come from the districts, not going to come from the council level. So we're re-looking at that, and we'll revisit that soon. The other thing that was a long topic of discussion, Randy was at the meeting. Typically they're about an hour long. This one ended up being about an hour and 45 minutes. But bottom line is a motion was made and approved, seconded, and then voted on and approved to move forward on a new shower house and a new health lodge at Camp Baker. So we're moving forward on that. The funding for that is yet to be determined, and we're going to work on that over the next 60 days and figure out exactly how the rest of the funding that is needed is going to happen. But I think that's tremendous step for us moving forward. Not only is it helping scouting for the future, because those are two facilities that will be there for years and years to come, but it's also helps the youth in our community. We hope to get more schools out there to use it for their outdoor program, outside user groups that use it as well. Kind Tree goes out there and runs their camp out there almost every year, not this year because of COVID-19, but there's a lot of other outside user groups that use those facilities as well, and that just makes the camp even more attractive for them. So that is probably the most exciting news. So you'll see changes out at Camp Baker, and I think in the last few years we've had some great improvements on that property and even all of our properties, and look for continued improvements at our properties. And that's all I have, Randy.
That's good stuff, Scott. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I wanted to put a plug in for everybody here that if there's a second assistant scoutmaster slot still available for the Jamboree troop, you could do a lot worse than spending 2 weeks plus with 32,000 of your favorite scouts. Isn't that right, Rush? Rush knows all about that kind of stuff. It's a grand experience. It's a grand that, oh, well.
So I hear that Randy's volunteering.
I'm gonna take my close personal gray bearded friends with me.
Randy's had the opportunity before.
That's exactly right. It's Rush taught me the ropes, didn't you there, Rush? What was that, 2001?
Well, I think we're probably more candidates for staff now. Second assistant scoutmaster should probably go to, if possible, a parent of one of the youth attending, if they're qualified to build the program into the future.
Yep.
So if I were to go, I think I'd apply for staff.
Yeah, I would go to staff myself simply because I wouldn't have to move around quite so darn much. It's just the nature of the beast. But we're here tonight with a very special guest, my close friend Danita out of PAC 52, Troop 152, Irving Middle School, and on and on and on. I don't want to ruin your resume there, Danita, so why don't you introduce yourself and give us a little bit about PAC operations and a little bit about membership ideas.
Okay, so I've been involved for 13 years. I have one Eagle Scout, one Life Scout, and my youngest just crossed over into Troop 152. So after 13 years, I'm finishing up my career in Cubs and just doing Scouts BSA. And I also serve on the Dale Fund Committee and other various organizations around around Eugene, Springfield. So, yeah.
And you can come visit with us tomorrow. Thank you so much. Great, appreciate it.
Well, Randy and I have been talking, and I've been talking to people from other units. And of course, everybody's up in arms right now trying to figure out what to do about recruiting. I belong to a couple of Facebook groups with, 14,000 volunteers from around the world. And some of the people have really great ideas. Other ones are just giving up and saying, our school's not going to let us meet. We're not going to do anything for the next 6 months, which is a huge mistake. So I think right now everybody needs to be really innovative and use all of the resources that they can gather, involve a lot more parents maybe than normally are involved to come up with some things that we can do the next 6 months, and not sit back and just say we're going to wait it out, because there won't be anything left if you wait for 6 months. So some of the things we've talked about is getting a schedule of activities out there. Like I said, I think a lot of units are looking that they may not have their regular meeting place, and for sure don't have it over the summer. And so I think anything to get outdoors is really important. I've seen units that have set up like a hiking club, and I'm talking more pack level than troop level, but you can do either way. Maybe once a month, pick a different local hike that you're going to do. You can social distance, you can have everybody wear their masks. They need to drive themselves and then get out and go hiking, which right now seems great. Once we get to November, December, January, it's pouring down rain in Oregon. But if that's part of your plan, you just say you wear your rain boots and your slickers, and we're gonna go jump in mud puddles as we hike through the woods. So that's one of the ways I think that we can keep things going, and keep kids active and involved for the next 6 months. So maybe to have each unit have a outdoor activity. If you can do community service, I know a lot of the parks need help with community service, to do a once a month activity, or whatever members of your unit want to get together and go, clean out invasive species or pick up trash or anything like that, and observe social distancing, and you don't have to have a school gym or a church cafeteria or something to use. So that's some of the things that Randy and I were talking about, and some of the other unit leaders. So that's one way to get things going. I would say as many outdoor activities as you can. Really easy to meet at a local park. Bring a bunch of frisbees, or do water balloons, or kickball, or hula hoops.
I think we've got a bandwidth question. Probably what it is. Either that or we've had a serious. Danita, you're not transmitting. Or you're transmitting, we're not receiving. Very interesting. Very interesting. While we wait, there's a new member on the screen here, James Cagle. James Cagle, who are you? What do you do? Introduce yourself, buddy.
Turn on your mic.
If we can get your mic to work. Oh, and Danita's back. You got to hang on, Danita. James, how about we circle back to you, huh? How's that?
Are you there?
Yeah, Danita, we were waiting on you. We thought you had some kind of serious issue there.
It did. It just lost me, and so I just put you on my iPhone. So sorry
Suddenly,
about that.
No movement at all. It was terrible.
Oh, really? Is it okay now?
Yeah, the last word we heard was hula hoop.
I know. Well, that was way too exciting.
And then A started gyrating, so,
Oh, good. Yeah, I would say any sort of thing that you can do. People right now are desperate for activities, and anything you can do as a family, I think would be well received. And along those same lines, for recruiting, you don't need to do a traditional recruitment night or the school back to school night, because there again, I don't think that's going to be happening. But don't let that stop you from recruiting new members. We always need new members. So one thing would be to plan a really fun event at the local park. We call our Scouts in the Park when we do it. Have everybody, bring their water bottle, wear their mask, do some really fun activities, a water balloon toss, do the rocket launching, or the Mentos and the soda bottles where they shoot up. The kids love that kind of stuff. You do that, bring all of your promotional materials, your flyer about your pack, where you meet, when you meet, all the contact information, and invite people to that event.
Yeah, Scott had something to interject.
I was just going to ask, Denny, what do you think what's the best way to get word out to the community that event has happened?
I've had really good luck with Facebook. With each of the units, we have a public page that's a group, and we have a closed page that's a group. And so the public page is where we do all of our events. And then I belong to all sorts of community events. There's Lane County events, Mom to Mom, Santa Clara River Road, all of these different groups. And so we put together an event and do an event page, and then plaster that all over the place. Plaster it to the pages of all of your members of your unit so they can invite friends. I think the family aspect is really important. So if your unit's not taking girls yet, definitely consider that, because we found that when you sign up a family and they have a daughter and a son, then it becomes a family activity. It's not just Joey goes to Cub Scouts on Tuesday. It's the whole family goes to Cub Scouts on Tuesday. And so families are much more willing to volunteer. They're more involved. And almost all of those activities we do are a family activity. So I think that's really important, that you're appealing to the whole family. And that has people more involved, which means they're going to stay with it longer. They're going to bring their friends and have an overall better experience. So,
Danita, what's been your favorite recruiting activity of all the things you've done in a decade and a half? What's your favorite?
We've done lots of really cool things. I would say to have people reach out to their families and see who has some connections. We did an event one time with Jordan Kent, who played for the NFL and U of O. And he came and did an awesome presentation, and the kids got to toss footballs with a real NFL pro, which they thought was cool. We did lots of pictures. I printed a bunch of pictures ahead of time, so we did autographs for everybody. So that was really fun. I have another friend who's a race car driver, and he brought his race car out. And so there again, the kids got to sit in the race car and get pictures with a real race car driver. Those are probably some of the fun, but even just, having it set up sort of like a carnival. We borrowed the tiger costume from the council, so somebody's running around in the tiger costume, and we have spin and win games and prizes and balloons and ice cream sundaes and all sorts of crazy things. So and there again, it's never just a recruiting event. It's a celebration for the whole pack that we happen to be inviting other people to. I think that's really important. You want families to show up and see what it is that you do and see the kids having fun, and have an area set aside that you can talk to the parents and answer their questions. But the kids want to be seeing other kids and interacting.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's important. I think what we need to do here, though, is let me get another expert on recruiting and membership up on the screen for just a moment, because they're talking about a Pinewood Derby and tying membership into that, and that's about to go off here in the very near future. Sherry, you ready?
Well, yes, thank you,
1, 2, 3, go.
Randy.
She's an expert.
Well, not an expert
the
yet.
expert
You can call me an expert on August 31st. The race
Exactly.
is on August 30th.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to wind up doing a virtual Pinewood Derby. And we're doing it for both Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. It'll be two separate races. And we're inviting anybody that's between 6 and 18 in Lynn and Lincoln counties to join. All they have to do is pick themselves up a car and get it made and bring it into a drop-off location. We'll check the cars in, we'll stow them until the race. Then we've got 2 families that are social distancing that will actually be running the race and putting it on Facebook Live. And then the following week, everybody can come back in and pick their cars up and trophies up and whatever prizes we might happen to come up with for them.
Aren't you running an adult thing out there too?
I'm sorry?
Didn't your district chair put in a co-event together on that? Didn't Lee do something about cars?
Oh, he was working on one over in Lincoln County, but that all got put on hold when the pandemic hit. He's going to watch ours and try maybe to do one in September over there.
Okay, yeah. So he was trying to do something with big sponsorship from the local community and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. He was doing a fundraiser, and he's already got 2 businesses committed, so that the businesses that have businesses related to cars are purchasing a car for $50 and racing, and he's got some fantastic prizes for them set up. But it got put on hold. But he's hoping that we can learn enough from this one that he can open that back up again.
Yeah. That sounds like a pretty good idea. No doubt about it.
And the most important part is for those kids that are not currently registered with BSA, we will be getting their contact information, and we will be giving it to the unit commissioners and to what we think should be their unit leaders. And that's kind of a guess at some point in time, but you've got to start somewhere. So
this is all tied together. It's not just Pinewood Derby as a fun event, but it's also a recruiting activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're getting the kids out. The Boy Scouts that I've talked to are like, you mean I can race? I can make another car? So that's kind of cool too. So they'll have fun.
That was what, the Scouts BSA?
Scouts BSA. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I talked to the boys in my troop. How's that?
There you go. And Scott, isn't the council offering an incentive as well for the next month or so?
Yes. If you join during the month of July, first of all, you're going to save the new increased fees, and part of that increase is a $25 joining fee. So you'll save that. And in addition, we're going to give them the opportunity to participate in the virtual day camp at no fee as well.
Hey, Scott, can I promote that with the Pinewood Derby?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, certainly can.
What's the deadline on that, Scott?
We're going to have to get the man behind the scenes off the speaker or on the speaker. There we go.
I'm here. So the Join in July special event is from
Go for it,
to the end of July, because August 1, that $25 new member fee kicks in. So we've got to have the application in and processed probably by July 30th.
Okay.
So that's another possibility to help us boost membership and continue on our path to achieving one of the goals out of the Vision 2025 as we move forward. Did anybody have a chance to see the recruitment webinar? Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago now? Because they really had some fascinating ideas on there. People up in the Northeast are pretty creative about what used to be called guerrilla marketing. I don't know what it's called anymore. But
Yes.
did anybody else happen to see that?
Yep, I got to see it. I attended that one, and also attended the one for joined units.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and there was one tonight that I missed. I don't know what it was about. But that stuff is on the brand and marketing hub inside bsa.org. That fascinating information. There's more stuff there than you can shake a stick at. Anybody have any other questions or comments about recruiting, membership, things you'd like to know about at this point in time? That's what this chat is all about, is hearing back from the audience as to the things they have an interest in. Deafening crickets.
Hey, Randy. I
Hey.
had another idea for people that want to do something is a perfect social distancing activity is fishing, because you got a 6-foot fishing pole. And we happen to have a Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife fishing volunteer that is also a local scouter, who happens to be my dad, Jim Cagle. And he can, if you contact him, he's happy to come out and bring all sorts of fishing equipment and the bait and everything that you possibly need to do a fishing derby.
Is that right, Jim?
I don't know if he's going to answer you. So
Now we know.
I put a link with his phone number on the event page for this activity, but it's a great thing to do with families, and you could turn that into part of your recruiting night also.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Randy,
Writing stuff down.
Randy,
I'm sorry.
Rush.
Yeah.
Just a coincidence. We took the troop out today for a day event at Lieberg Lake on the Mackenzie, where there's also the day use park, eWeb's day use park, and socially distancing with the fishing did go well. And we had a drift boat so that 3 boys at a time could go out in the drift boat, where of course social distancing didn't go so well, but the fishing went better. But what we're trying to do as a troop throughout the summer is every week that we aren't in camp, having an outdoor day event, so
Yep.
the kids get an opportunity to get outside. And what I noticed was, I had forgotten this, but Lieberg, it's a nice facility, but it's not really more than about a half an hour from Eugene.
Right.
Other options in Eugene close in, such as at Alton Baker Park, or which is stocked, or the Junction City Pond off 99. But this is pretty nice and it's pretty close. So just a thought if anyone's looking for a place to fish.
Yeah, that's a nice place up there.
Just a question, Rush, maybe for you or Danita. Have you guys ever gone over to Alton Baker Park and taken advantage of that disc golf course over there?
No, and that's only $3.
Yeah, and
And that's a great activity.
and that seems like something that would be fine with social distancing. That would, you still be able to do that fairly well. So.
Yeah, we took our boys 2 weeks ago for our troop, and we went and did disc golf.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to break a few up and resort them so that they would stay distanced.
Okay.
I've got the disc golf on the list. What we have done at Alton Baker Park, and honestly, I'd have to go over there and see if the concession is set up this summer, is the canoes, Scott. He does have the ability to bring out 10 to 12 canoes, and with 2 people in them, jacketed up, you're socially distanced, and you can do a trip on the pond there at Alton Baker, portage up onto the canal at 2 places, and go all the way out to Chevy Chase, which kind of parallels King Boulevard, but you're in the woods. So, and it's reasonably priced. So I know that I had seen on their Facebook that 282 had also done that. So it's a close-in event. Works maybe a little better for the Scouts BSA age.
Mhm.
Right, right.
And talking about disc golf, I think there's also a disc golf course at right around Chambers and 18th as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Westmoreland area.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice facility out there, it looks like to me. Okay. All righty. Next week, we're going to have Kelsey Wood on here. By the way, Danita, thank you very much. Appreciate your sharing with us tonight. And, fist bump, right? That's good stuff. And Danita has done a fabulous job in a lot of different directions. And we're going to appreciate that as the years go by. There's just no doubt about it. Okay. And I think, Danita, that you're willing to help anybody who really has an interest in recruiting and pack operations.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very knowledgeable. Oh, Mr. Wiley. Yeah, very good. But next week is going to be Kelsey Wood out of the Great Doug Fir District, and he's got some thoughts to share about district operations and then what's going on in the southern part of the council. And we'll be looking forward to that. Do invite your friends. Do refer them to the BSA Brand and Marketing Hub. Let's continue to scout moving into the future. And Jim, when you're there, did you want to say something? Jim Wiley. Connecting to audio. Jim Wiley. Going once. Okay. All right. So several of us have got another call here in about another 10 minutes, and I'll look forward to chatting with you at that point. It'll be great. If you'd like to stay on, we can chat some more, but start on time, finish on time. Our fireside chat is done. Now you take your uniform off, Anita.